The next massively anticipated MCU team-up movie, Thunderbolts, is coming out in just a few months. With so many characters and storylines coming together, here are all of the MCU movies you need to watch before seeing Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts team consists of not one, not two, but three different characters that are all introduced in Black Widow. The film is set in between the events of Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. We see Natasha on the run after the fallout of the Avengers. She has yet to meet up with Captain America, choosing instead to go back to her past. This is where we learn about Natasha's childhood and how she wasn't lying to Bruce when she told him she had been doing this since she was a child. She was embedded within an entire fake family of Russian spies. This is where we meet the adoptive sister and father of Natasha, Yelena, and Alexei. This film shows how similar Yelena and Natasha are, from their powers to their personality. She was also raised to be a Russian spy, having grown up to be a mindless killer, only to be woken up from the spell in this film. Since then, she has been on a mission to try and right her wrongs. She is also essentially another main character in Black Widow, as we get to see her change from heartless killer to vengeful guardian, much like Natasha had done earlier in the MCU. This is all essential to understand her motivations going into Thunderbolts. Alexei, aka the Red Guardian, also debuted in this film. He has popped up in the What If series. However, this movie shows exactly who he is. He was given an offshoot of the super soldier serum from the Russians before being cast out to America as a spy. Having raised Yelena as her adoptive father, their relationship will undoubtedly play a big part in the film. This film also establishes his so-called rivalry with Captain America and his love for the Russian legend about the Winter Soldier. While these connections may not be integral to the plot, they will no doubt help you understand certain character motivations. Another member of the Thunderbolts team that we meet is Taskmaster. Her character is very similar to that of the Winter Soldier, as her father used her as a weapon against her will for most of her life. The film shows her perfect mimicking powers from the comics, merely needing to watch someone fight to learn how to do it herself. Watching this film, you understand the tragedy of her character and how she would want to do good, even if it meant risking her life. We have yet to see Taskmaster return in any way since her appearance in Black Widow. Perhaps she has been spending this time attempting to deal with the mind control she was put under all of those years. If only someone else on this team had gone through something similar. Black Widow does cover a lot of ground with these three characters, but there is more to Yelena's story that you need to know before Thunderbolts. In the post-credits scene in Black Widow, which takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame, Yelena has a meeting at Natasha's grave with Valentina Allegra. Allegra, whom we will get to later, tells Yelena that Hawkeye was the last person to see Natasha alive. With this information, Yelena goes to kill Clint in the Hawkeye series finale. This episode shows more of Yelena's whimsical nature and puts a cap on her emotional arc following her sister's death. She and Clint connect over their shared grief for Natasha.
We're gonna have to find a way to live with that.
This no doubt put her on the path we have seen in the trailers for Thunderbolts. She does make brief appearances in previous episodes. However, the majority of her character is shown in the finale. While this isn't a movie, it gives you more of an idea of who Yelena is, so if you have extra time and want more Yelena, this is perfect for you. One character that the Thunderbolts are bringing back is Ava Starr, aka Ghost. She has not been seen in the MCU in quite some time, ever since her debut film Ant-Man and the Wasp. This film shows her not as a megalomaniacal villain, but as a very sick person who has been cursed with her powers. Her arc in this film revolves around her trying to eliminate her powers, because if she doesn't, her phasing powers will phase her out of existence. This is quite a sympathetic goal for a villain. This film does a very good job of showing her struggle to remain a good person despite everything in her world trying to force her not to be. She ends the film running away into hiding, ashamed at what she almost had done to achieve her goal. We haven't seen her since, making this the one and only time we get a look at her character before she returns in Thunderbolts. Her inclusion on the team will be interesting, as she is the only one who has otherworldly powers. As Yelena jokes about in the trailer, they all mostly punch and shoot. This could allow Ava and her powers to shine when compared to the rest of her team. Falcon and the Winter Soldier introduced two key players for the Thunderbolts film, the first being John Walker, who later becomes US Agent. The events of this show are incredibly crucial viewing for this character. He starts the show as the new Captain America, taking over for Steve Rogers. Throughout the show, we see the toll that that this massive symbol has on him, leading him to make a mistake that loses him the Captain America mantle. The Thunderbolts film seems to focus on characters who are good people at heart but have been weighed down by mistakes and bad luck. This couldn't be more accurate than with John Walker. This show is also very important for Bucky. He goes through quite a journey throughout this series. Seeing John take the mantle that his best friend held brings a lot of emotions out of Bucky that he has to work through.
Steve believed in you. He gave you that shield for a reason.
That, combined with being without Steve, making him truly alone, means that his clinginess to the past is another key part of his character. From the trailers, it looks as if Bucky is the de facto leader of this team, and seeing how this show gives him the most character screen time since Civil War makes Falcon and the Winter Soldier a must-watch. One important note with Bucky is that he does make a cameo appearance in Captain America: Brave New World. While there is just a single scene with him, we find out he is running for Congress. This is quite a turnaround from his days as an assassin and will undoubtedly play a crucial role in this film. Another vital character to the Thunderbolts story is Valentina Allegra. Valentina Allegra, whose full name is Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, is the director of the CIA and has had quite an interest in superpowered people. She appears in this show once John has been stripped of the Captain America mantle, giving him a helpful push toward her side. This is a very similar moment to the one at the end of Black Widow when she helped Yelena. Allegra has also popped up in the film world with her inclusion in Wakanda Forever, where we get an even better look at her character. From the small snippets we have seen so far, she appears to be a darker version of Nick Fury, assembling a team of morally ambiguous, superpowered individuals for her purposes. There are many hints as to why she would want this team of people. However, the actual answers will have to wait until the film's release. As we get closer to the release date, more information about the story of this film is coming out. One hanging thread that has been around the MCU for some time is who bought Avengers Tower. We now know from a recent trailer that the person was Valentina. We even see the Thunderbolts team inside the iconic tower. As we know from the comics, the original Thunderbolts team was a group of super villains masquerading as heroes. This film seems to be going in a slightly different direction, instead having the team consist of anti-heroes, or people who are trying to change their violent past. We do know that they will be facing off against the villain Sentry, who has the potential to be one of the MCU's darkest antagonists. It would take quite a threat to have this group overcome their problems and work together. Many of these characters have very similar stories, making them some of the few people able to connect and understand each other. The lead up to this film has been years in the making, with characters spanning from all phases of the MCU. Part of the fun of these big team-up movies is returning to the original films to see how far we have come. Who are you most excited to see return in the Thunderbolts? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to return to get all your Thunderbolts and MCU updates here at ScreenRant. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.